Brandon Beane does it again, Bills Mafia. We have some Bills breaking news for you on this Saturday early afternoon. Christian Benford has been locked up on a 4-year major contract extension worth $76 million, making $19 million a year for a player who absolutely balled out and really took over the Bills' CB1 spot in 2024. You're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith. And before we get into this big-time extension, what it means to the rest of Buffalo's roster, and really just talking about the development that Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills have had on players that they've drafted and kept in-house, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Bills Breakdown just passed 3,000 subscribers, and we're growing rapidly here at Chat Sports, and we're trying to build the biggest Bills community on YouTube. So if you're a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, go down below and hit that big red sub button and turn your notifications on so you never miss a moment here at the Bills Breakdown. All right, so let's talk about this Benford extension, man, because at $19 million a year, I think the Bills got an absolute bargain. This is a guy who is a 6th-round pick out of Villanova back in 2022, that awesome 2022 draft class by Brandon Beane and company, and he really kind of has taken the, I guess, stink away from the first-round pick of Khalil Elam and kind of making up for that miss there early on in the draft. Now Benford comes and really ascends through this Buffalo depth chart, and he played as well as basically any cornerback in the entire league last season. I mean, a couple of stats that I want to talk about here for Benford. I mean, he was an 82.8% coverage grade at the outside CB spot. That ranks second among all cornerbacks in the NFL. He had 0.5 yards per coverage snap allowed. That ranked third in the league. And then 5.3 yards per target outside. So not only does this guy not get targeted, but when he does, he's absolutely locked down and will stick on to any receiver that you throw to on the boundary out there. So like an absolute must extend move for the Bills here, and the value that they got on Benford is insane as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cornerbacks making the same or more dollars every single season on their contract than Christian Benford is. And I can tell you, he's probably better than a Jalen Johnson, a Tyson Campbell, a Trayvon Diggs. I mean, like an AJ Terrell, a Jair Alexander, who hasn't really been playing football lately. Derek Stingley and J.C. Horn just got extended to $25 million and $30 million contracts. Like, to get Christian Benford at under $20 million a season is absolutely awesome. And he continues to ascend. This is a player who's gotten better every single season, and that's a testament to this organization and how they've been able to develop talent. I'm looking for another CB1 type season out of Benford and the Bills to go address the opposite outside cornerback spot in this upcoming draft. So very, very excited to see what talent that Brandon Beane can go get. And now that we know that they can get a guy here in the 6th round who puts up numbers and the production level that Benford does, then the sky's the limit for what Buffalo can do in this draft. Is very deep at the cornerback position, and maybe day 2 or day 3 he ends up making a splash and somebody who could really ascend in this Bills depth chart like Benford did. And I want to talk a little bit more about kind of all the extensions that Buffalo has had right now, because look back to this 2022 draft that the Bills had, man. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. We have obviously Khalil Elam, who gets taken in that first round, but then James Cook, Terrel Bernard, Khalil Shakir in rounds 2, 3, and 5. And then you pick up Benford in the 6th. Then you even got a rotational off-ball linebacker in Balin Spector all the way in the 7th round, a guy who can definitely get out there on the football field. But you got to think, you get James Cook, who's due up for the extension. It's going to be 8 figures plus. Terrel Bernard just got extended to a $10 million a year plus contract. Khalil Shakir just got extended to a $15 million a year contract. You got Christian Benford, who's now making $19 million a season. This is an absolute GMing, scouting, evaluation, and development masterclass by the front office and the coaching staff here in Buffalo. And Bills fans should be absolutely jacked up that they have people running this organization that know how to get it done. Brandon Beane does it again with a guy who they just found basically, in for better or for worse, like in the trash bin. Like, one man's trash, another man's treasure. This guy was taken in the 6th round of the NFL draft. This is how the Seattle Seahawks teams of the early 2010s were able to build their almost dynasty in a sense. They got guys like Sherman and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor in late day 2, day 3 of the NFL draft. And look at Buffalo doing that now. I mean, as long as, and we can worry about the weapons that Buffalo has in the offense, or the holes they have on the roster here or there. But the one thing that you can count on is Buffalo's ability to fill those gaps and fill those holes and be able to find blue chip talent when players are slipping or they're not talked about enough. Like this is just another success story by the Buffalo Bills in their front office. Christian Benford making $19 million a year when he is clearly at this point in time right now a top 5 outside corner in the game, and there are 13 guys making the same money or more than him in the NFL. So make sure you go down below in the comment section and grade this extension for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Christian Benford, 4 years, $76 million. Grade the extension for me down below. Get out your red pens. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think of this deal down in the comments. I'm gonna have to give it. I gotta give it an A. Like how can you get a bona fide top 5, top 7 cornerback in the NFL on the 14th highest contract in the league? Like that's an A deal for me. Somebody who's getting better, somebody who's still hungry to improve their game, and a player who the Bills don't have to kind of think about, in the sense of, they drafted Kyrie Lamb. Now they have Christian Benford. Just kind of, you swap those two guys and nobody's batting an eye whatsoever. And you could say, like, Benford probably gets more money in this deal if he was the first round pick and Elam was the 6th round pick. And now Buffalo kind of gets him at a bargain at this point. This defense looks solid, but there still needs to be improvement, in my opinion, on the boundary at corner. I'm not really that comfortable with Dane Jackson being the team's 17 games starting outside cornerback. You didn't sign him to too expensive of a deal, and a deal that I probably wouldn't be comfortable with, starting a guy for. Like, at the end of the day, like, you are paid for the production that you're going to put up, and for Dane Jackson is making like $8 million a year. I would just feel more comfortable with a better outside CB. Go find one in the draft. If it's early on, great. If it's later in the draft, maybe he finds his way into the depth chart at some point this season or next. But there does need to be an improvement at that outside corner spot. I also think there needs to be improvement at the safety spot for Buffalo. I feel like the Bills lack the most depth in their secondary, in their defensive backfield, and I'm just not all the way in on Damar Hamlin being the 17-game starter. He's only making $2 million a year this year on a 1-year extension. So look to Buffalo to maybe address that safety spot for a guy maybe like Andrew Makuba on day 2 of the NFL draft, who Matt Miller mocked to them in his most recent ESPN NFL mock draft. You guys can check out the video that we reacted to on the channel. But this is a great Buffalo defense, and there aren't too many holes on it right now. Still need to address defensive tackle. Outside cornerback is definitely something that I'm looking for, and then maybe a depth safety as well. Hopefully Cole Bishop takes a big time step this year. Hopefully Taylor Rapp can be healthy all season long. But this Buffalo defense looks solid, and I expect them to improve on both sides of the ball. They do have 10 draft picks in this upcoming NFL draft, and what we've seen from Brandon Beane and company, to be able to find good talent late in these drafts and be able to develop them and then end up, seeing a big payday to remain in Buffalo. This is how Super Bowl champion teams are born. And to be honest, man, like I really do think Buffalo has as good of a chance as anybody to run this whole thing back and go out there and win the Lombardi next season. The defense is solid. You got Josh Allen back there, and as long as you have 17, man, you have the opportunity to beat anybody in the National Football League. So very, very excited about this Benford extension. They're locking up their cornerback 1 of the future. He's here until 2029, as well as Greg Rousseau, as well as Khalil Shakir, as well as Terrel Bernard, and as well, and James Cook extension, it's going to be coming soon. Like, I do think that they're going to keep Cook in Buffalo long term because, you could argue he's the best weapon in that Buffalo offense last season outside of Josh Allen. Beane's going to get it done. If he thinks he is a player that is worth keeping and is somebody that is integral to a Super Bowl pursuit, then he's going to stay in town long term. And I love James Cook. He's a home run hitter. But that will do it for today's edition of the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let me know down in the comments section, where does Buffalo need to improve next? What is the next move that Brandon Beane needs to make? Is it James Cook? Is it going out there and maybe, putting together a couple of these draft picks to try to move up in the 2025 NFL Draft? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. And again, make sure you are subscribed to the Bills Breakdown. We'll be uploading daily Buffalo Bills content all offseason long and into the regular season. So if you're a diehard Bills fan, you're going to love what we got going on here on the channel. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, go Bills.